My boy Deku just yeeted Muscular off the roof and carried a badly wounded Shindo like Princess Peach. So chapter 307 has something in store for us. A few things happen in chapter 306. As we know, Deku has left his Hero Academia. That itself was a big turnaround in the series. So now let's see how chapter 307 followed up from the previous chapter. So the chapter starts off with its distorted city that's been trashed, and we see two familiar faces appear. It turns out they are students from Ketsubetsu Academy, Tatami and Shindo. We've seen them before during the provisional license exam arc. We see they are looking for an escaped convict and look for any civilians in the area who need to be evacuated safely. As both of them are strolling along the road, they heard from a report that civilians are hiding out in a building. They found a big building, so the two heroes entered the building and found the civilians of this town. Shindo tries to convince them to evacuate to a designated shelter. One of the civilians that seems to be the leader tells them no way, because if they are put there, then the heroes won't be able to protect them against villains. The leader tells them they're better off without their help, as they've already taken out some villains on their own. The leader tells them this place is their hometown, so they're protected and won't let any outside heroes fail again to protect them. Shindo believes they're well capable when it comes to taking on looters. However, he warns them of the escaped Tartarus prisoners and Nomus are nothing like the looters. Shindo continues on what they heard about one of the escapees still in this town. And as the heroes are trying to help the civilians, Shindo asks them what may happen if they face a convict whose only desire is violence. The leader of the civilian group tells Shindo that they trust themselves to do the work more than heroes like Shindo, and saying to him, "You heroes are pompous to think you can bark orders while we kneel at your feet." Shindo, being as positive as he can be, states he's only pompous in the fact that he can fight better and protect the civilians. The leader tells them aren't they the same words that brought them in this mess in the first place, and tells them to scrounge to play hero somewhere else. After that, Tatami, being an e-girl, tells Shindo L, big L, right there, press F in the chat. And we see that Shindo hasn't taken the comments lightly from the civilian leader, as he said if he could, he would have used his quirk to destroy the building and physically drag them out of there, which is a bit too extreme and probably something he would have done if he wasn't putting on a hero's persona. Tatami gets a phone call from Makabe, their classmate from their academy, shouts through the phone to tell them to get out of the area now. He said one of their classmates confirmed that there's a villain coming towards them, as he tells them to run immediately. Then they hear loud noises from above, and Shindo sees the escapee leaping from building to building. And once the escapee comes close to them, he says to them, "Let's have some fun." And escapee turns out to be Muscular, who Deku fought during the Florez training arc, and from his face alone, he's full of bloodlust, wanting to fight. Shindo whips out his sword and tells Tatami to send an alert and request backup with civilian lives being at risk. Tatami asks him what he will do, and Shindo answers he'll knock this guy out with a determined face. Muscular heard what Shindo said. He says to him, "Let's see you try," as he jumps down to rumble. The civilians from inside the building heard a big ruckus. The leader says he can't stand to see the town being destroyed. And once he was about to leave, Tatami came in, bursting in to tell everyone to listen to her, as she says this villain poses an extreme threat and they must evacuate immediately. The leader tells Tatami it's not of her concern and won't listen. Tatami tells them she won't let them have their lives being taken away out there. Then from outside the window, a crash occurs. Tatami yells out Shindo's name, and we see from the outside Muscular has Shindo in his grip, out-muscling him, no pun intended. With Shindo badly beaten up, Muscular tells him, "Is that all you got?" As Muscular sees us civilians inside, he crushes Shindo, telling him he's useless, as Muscular has him being buried under 12,000 layers of muscle fibers. Shindo knows he's right, with him being in disadvantage for using maximum vibrations, which makes him unable to move. He's ordered to follow rules to avoid hurting his opponent. However, being in layers of fiber, Shindo takes it up a notch to shake Muscular harder, as he tells him, as the proverb goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Shindo unleashes his ultimate move, tremoring earth, turning Muscular into a muscle milkshake. Even though the move is breaking down his muscle fibers, Muscular is still up, telling Shindo he'll just add more layers. Shindo, unable to move, is sinking deep into Muscular's grip. Tatami yells at Shindo in despair. The leader of the civilian group yells out he'll save him, and while Muscular is having the time of his life, telling Shindo time for a bloodbath. Then all of a sudden we hear a smash attack press on Muscular, which sends him flying away from Shindo's crippled body. The attack came from high above by someone standing on a roof. This mysterious figure calls on Muscular. This person comes down and says no wonder his spidey senses were tingling. And we see this mysterious character is masked up, but we all know who this mysterious character is. From his costume. It's Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, carrying a burnt out Shindo on his arms, like he's a princess being rescued by Prince Charming. Then, Muscular, with an evil, exciting, bloodlust smile, says that voice could be, as the manga chapter ends there. Jeez, this chapter slapped OD. That image of Deku's entrance was awesome. We see that many people out there are no longer big fans of heroes anymore because the heroes failed to protect the civilians after prison outbreaks. We see how other heroes, such as those who are yet to go pro, are doing their best to sweep the streets and assist the civilians. And Deku, who's ready to bust some balls on Muscular. I know for sure Deku will go lightly on Muscular after causing havoc to the city, defeating Shindo. And Muscular is a tough guy to crack. Also knowing that there's been a time skip, let's see what Deku has learned and improved in his ability in using One For All, as well as the other quirks from the previous One For All owners. I can see a few certainties, but one thing to be certain is, for sure, the next chapter will be a continuation between Deku and Muscular's confrontation. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give this video a like, and if you want, consider subscribing to my channel for more My Hero Academia manga content. And see y'all next time in the next video. Peace.